Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. How are you? Hope that this lecture will find you in best of your health and you may have been fasting as well. To recall that we were doing this book. Now this is Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics Core and Extended Course Book. Now this is second edition and it has been written by Karen Morrison and Nick Henshaw. We have already completed in our first unit, first chapter as well. And in the same unit, that is in the first unit, we'll be going to start algebra today. And it is very basic chapter of algebra, and its topic is making sense of algebra. What is algebra in fact? Algebra is the part of mathematics in which letters and other general symbols are used to represent numbers and quantities in formulae and equations. I hope that I have already told you what is an equation. Equation is in fact equation consists of in fact two parts. Just like two pen balance, as I'll tell you in my lecture in the classroom, that two pans of the balance must be equal, and there is a sign in between them is equal sign, and which represent that the left hand side and the right hand side is equal to each other. My dear students, what is in fact algebra? We easily just start doing algebra from x plus y is equal to 12 or whatsoever it is, but it is the name given to it by Algebra, and this was a Muslim mathematician, and his name was Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi. His time period was 780 to 850 AD. And what in fact algebra means, to join the broken parts. To join the broken parts. And he in the 19th century, in the 9th century, he wrote a book about uh, algebra, which was in Algebra wa al-Muqabla. Now, this all these studies you can also have it from uh, internet and Google. I will tell you that what we doing in algebra today, or in this whole unit of exercises. You will listen many keywords like algebra, variables, equations, formulas, substitution, expressions, terms, powers, index, coefficients, exponents, base, and reciprocals, and such similar words in algebra. Don't just be confused that how you learn all these things by heart. I tell you that when you start doing algebra, you will feel it very, very simple and very, very interesting. And in this chapter, we also be learning the use of letters to represent numbers, write expressions to represent mathematical informations, substitute letters from the numbers to find the values in expressions, add and subtract like terms to simplify expressions, as we did in our arithmetic in the previous chapter. Multiply and divide, same rules apply. Expand expression by removing grouping symbols. And then we'll be using index notation in algebra, and we'll also be learning and applying the laws of indices to simplify the expressions. Now, what are the indices? I have already told you that indices is the plural of index, and index does mean that raised to power. You just simply know that what are the indices, and we'll also be working on fractional indices. Now, fractional indices seems to be very difficult, but mind it, these are very, very, very. So, I think we should uh, move towards classroom now. Let us proceed to the classroom. Now, dear students, let us proceed to some basic information. You have already studied in your earlier classes about the basic algebras. Now, what is the basic algebra? You know that we say something like expressions. What is an expression? Now, expression is what is a sentence, is a mathematical sentence which is written in a form, and it has some variables. It can contain some variables, some numbers, or it can contain some symbols as well. Now, for example, you see that if this is written over here, now this is an expression, x plus 4 is an expression. Now you see that a variable is written in this example, a number is written in example, and an operating symbol is also written in this example. So what we contain in expression is, it may be variable, it may be number, it may be a symbol. Now there may be some more forms like this 3x plus y. Now this is again an expression, or it can also be in a division form like 3 divided by m, 3m divided by n. These all are the examples of the expressions. And also like this 4a minus b, a plus b. You have noticed that in my all examples I have used small case letters over here. You see that a minus b, now it is written small abc. What we call it small abc is a, and now m is small, n is small, x is small, y is small. Mostly we do use small letters over here, and we do not use capital. Sometimes we use capital letters like this x, but mostly we use the small case letters over here. Now, sometimes you have been given the values of, suppose this, for this example 3x plus y, you have been given that if x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 7, then find what is written and decode this expression. Now, what we call this decoding is substitution. So, what we call it is substitution. Now, we write 5 instead of x, 7 instead of y, and what we get here, that 5 plus 7. No, the BODMAS rule applies. What happens over here? 3, 12, and it will become 36. You see how we substituted the letters with the numbers, and we have come up to the answer over here. Now, for example, if this sort of question is given to you, maybe you have to write. Now, suppose I'm going to repeat the numbers same for m and n, and we have to find this. What will happen over here? That it will become 3. Now m's will be substituted by 5. M will be substituted by 5. Put a multiplication sign over here, because when there is nothing written between the two letters or two variables, or a letter or a variable, then there a multiplication sign over there. And what was it? Was like this. So what happens over here, that it will become 15 upon 7. So this is how we substitute the numbers with the letters, or letters with the numbers, vice versa. Now, one thing which I already told you in my last chapter, preceding chapter, that was chapter number 1, index notation and basis. Now, what is a base? If you know, in the factors, in prime factors, what was the way of writing our factors was 2 multiplied 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 and times 2 and whatsoever. And I told you that each of this is a base. And now this rise to power 1, this also rise to power 1, power 1, power 1, power 1. So this power is called the index. And the plural is called indices. Index, 1 is index, and the all are indices. These are all indices. Now for this, these are called the bases. Now we will write the same in very shorter form. Now the rule is, what is the rule? Now I already told you that there will be rules for the new language. So first rule is coming up over here. You see that for each there is a multiplication sign written, or even if it is not written, as I told you now, it can also be written like a dot, just as you write in physics. It can be written as a dot. You might have studied dot product and cross product over there. So this also represents the multiplication sign. Now, if the multiplication sign is between the two consecutive numbers, now these are the two consecutive, these are two consecutive, these are two, and these are two. Now what we do, now you see that the bases are same all over the line, all over. 2 is the base, 2 is the base, 2 is the base, 2 is the base, 2 is the base. Now what we simply do is we just sum up the indices over here. We sum up the powers over here. What will we do? 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So you see what we come up with, 2 raised to power 5. 2 raised to power 5. Now this is the index of the number, and this is the base of the loop. This is was very simple. Now I'll tell you that how we can use the uh, letters to represent unknown values. How can we use the letters to represent unknown values? Now, in the junior school or in the junior level, you might have uh, done in this way that 3 plus a box, a square box, or any symbol like the symbols used in the cards, playing cards, that were a diamond, that was a club, if I am making it in a right fashion, that was a heart, and that was a spade. Now, these two were the red, these was red, and this was red, and this was black. You might have played card sometimes in your life. So sometimes this shape was given to you instead of this square, like this, with its color. Now, how I read it, this is equal to 8. Now you see, this is again an expression. What it contains is an unknown number, operational sign, is equal sign, and two numbers. Now we have to solve this. Well, it is very easy for you today, but in the school level, you just do it like this. Oh, how will I do this? But it is very easy for you today. It is 3. You just replace this, or you simply write above it. 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. Or if the box was given over here, empty box, you write like this. So this thing you have already studied in the junior school, that you replace the box or you write within the box the unknown number to form an equation. Now, what is an equation? Equation is just like a balance. You might have seen a balance that has two pens. Now there are digital balances, and you might not know what is a balance. A balance was a device. Now balance was a device which was used to measure certain goods in earlier time, not so earlier, but maybe some 20 years or 10 years before this time. So from there, in one balance, in one pen, the reference weight was put like 1 kg, and the other, in the other balance, in the other pen, the thing which have to be measured like sugar. Now you have placed some sugar over here, and you just wait. When this balance becomes straight, then what happens, that this sugar will be equal to this weight, which is 1 kg. Now you have digital balance. You might have not seen it anywhere in the marketplace, but you see it in one place today as well, and that is court. There is a one statue which is lifting this balance over here, over there. So what does it means that this sugar is now equal to 1 kg. This sugar, rice, whatsoever it is, vegetable, meat, whatsoever it is, this sugar is equal to 1 kg now. And if it is going in this direction, the this pen is going upwards and this going is downward. That means you have to put some more sugar to bring it down like this. And if it is going like this way, then it means that you have to remove some sugar from here to bring it horizontal. So this balance, this is a balance. Now, what does it mean that 1 kg is equal to 1 kg is equal to this measured sugar or whatsoever it is. Now this sugar is equal to 1 kg. Now this was the left hand side pan and this was the right hand side pan. So when both pans are equal, then you give it to your customer for taking it home. So when there are two sides in an expressions, a left hand side and a right hand side, and they are joined by a sign that is two parallel lines, small short parallel lines, which is called is equal sign, and we have already studied this sign. Then we say that this is an equation. This is an equation. For example, now this equation consisted only with the numbers. Now this can also be written as, if this is an unknown number, you can also write this like this. I have already told you in my this recent lecture that what we can do is we can transfer one letter from the other side, one from this side to this side, or from this side to this side. We can transfer by using certain method, by certain rule. We can shift this 3 towards here. We can use 3, we can just diminish this 3 from here, and we can bring it towards over here, towards the right hand side, or vice versa. We can use, we can bring this 8 over here. We can uh, shift this x over from here to this here. So what we do, we just simply use one trick, one method, and that is we just, what we do, you see that this 3 was a positive 3. This 3 was a positive 3. What we did what we did with it is we just made it 0. Now this 3 over here has become 0. But as I told you in this example, that if this balance is going this or this way, we have to balance by putting or removing some sugar over here. So what we do here is we write the rest of the things as these were written, but we, you see that we have removed 3 from here. Subtracting 3 means that we have removed 3 from here, so we have to also remove a 3 from this side. Now you will follow my example. Now you see that your customer says that I don't have money to buy 1 kg product. You give me what, 750 grams or 800 grams. So what we did is we just minus 100, we just subtract 250 grams from here. We put a another weights like 500 and 250 grams weights over here to make it 750. So now this is now 750. So we have to remove, yes, 250 grams sugars from this also, and we have to remove 250 grams sugar from this end also to make this balance horizontal straight. So similarly, what we did here is we have removed 3 from here and brought this 3 over here by a method, and you see that what we had is now 8 minus 3. Now the structure of this sentence has been changed totally. Now you see our answer, that it came the same as in our junior class. So this is the way of doing algebra. This is the very basic way of doing algebra. One more example. Now, my dear students, you might have also studied the area of square, rectangle, triangle, circle in your junior exercise, in your junior classes. Now, this is a triangle. This is an equivalent triangle, maybe. This is a rectangle, a square, circle. Now, you see that I have drawn 4 basic shapes. In triangle, there are some more triangles like this, like this, like this. There is a variety of triangles, but I have taken only one equilateral triangle. So if you have to find the area of these triangles, what you do, if this is your length, if this is your length, this is your breadth, and this is the side, you see that when I write square, the side of square, then it means that all sides are equal. All sides are equal, and you know that I don't have to repeat it. And this is the radius, and this whole is the circumference. This perimeter or this whatsoever it is circumference. And for this triangle, now this is base, this one is base, and here you, now the height of triangle is called the altitude. The height of triangle is called the altitude. So the area of a triangle, it may be any of these triangles, that is half base into height. What is it? Half base into height. Now this is, I already told you that where is the base? This is the base and this is the altitude. Now altitude and height are the same thing. Half base into height. Area of rectangle is L multiplied by B. You just multiply the two sides, you'll get the area. Area of a square is equal to, same is the procedure over here, that you multiply the two sides. Now you have to multiply the two sides over here. That means you have to multiply the two sides and it will become, now you see the bases are same. So what will the index is? It will be 2 over here. S square is the area. Now what is the area? You know the area is, this is the area. This is the area. This is the area. And this is the area. And the area of circle is pi r square. Now, each time you see that you have come up with a new letter or a new symbol. Here you have come up with B, H. So B means for base, H means for height, length, breadth, side. Now what is this? This is radius, okay. And radius is with a power as well. Radius has raised a power of 2. Now what is this? This is a pi. Pi. This is a Greek letter, pi, and its value is almost equal to 3.14. 3.14. I have already told you about the perimeter of this circle. The perimeter of the circle is called circumference. What is it called? Circumference. What is the circumference? If you place a thread, if you just nail one nail over here, just strike a nail, just prick a nail over here and place a thread like this, so circumference will become as 2 pi r. Again pi has come over here, so it means that it is 3.14 is its constant value. It remains constant and it is also found in your calculator. Pi. Here you can see in the substitution value, shift value, it is written pi over here. So its value is shift pi is equal to, the computer value is 3.14. So these are some formulae. Formulae is a plural, formula is singular. This is formula for area of triangle, area of rectangle, area of square, area of circle. And you see that, to let you understand, I have not written a multiplication sign over here. Now these two letters are written side by side consecutively, but there isn't any sign written in between them. Now this does means b multiplied by h. B multiplied by h But if I don't write it over here, it is valid. And if I don't write like this, it is also valid. So you need not write to this multiplication sign. Multiplication sign. You see that in formula, in each formula, I don't have written multiplication sign. So you can just omit this multiplication sign, because you need not to write this multiplication sign for two reasons. Number one, the number one reason is that when you have written, just told you before this example, then when nothing is written between the two, that means a multiplication is sign is there, but we have omitted it. We have omitted it. And number two, if you place a multiplication sign, now this is the second reason, it just is just like x, and you have been using x in algebra at each and every sentence. Maybe we have been using x everywhere in algebra. So what will happen, that this x will mix up with this x over here. So these are the formulas as I was telling you. Formulae is the plural and formula is the singular. Now if you replace, just like this pi, you just replace this pi. Suppose the radius is 4. Radius is 4, whatsoever it is, 4 units. It can be 4 inches, it can be 4 millimeter, it can be 4 centimeters. Radius is 4 and I replace it like this. I have already replaced this pi sign with this constant value and 4 over here, the radius is 4 and a square over here. You see, I have transferred, I have written instead of these letters the actual numbers which are coming up. Now what will happen, that if we solve this, that is a later thing, but what I have did is the substitution. Now this is called the substitution. We'll solve this in the later stage, but what we did is a substitution. We substituted pi for 3.14, r for 4, and square is written as it is. And if you want to, it will become 16, and it will become something like 16348, and it will become as something like I have not calculated it as yet, but for the approximation value it will become as 50. Multiplied by 16. Now the actual value is 50.26. I told you that it will come somewhere between like 50, somewhere like 50. So this is called the substitution. Now my dear students, this was the uh, last term for today's lecture. Hope that you will understand this algebra very well, and you'll follow what I'm telling you and what I'm teaching you in a very good manner. So it's time to sign off from you now. Keep on sharing this channel and subscribing this channel, and don't forget to push this bell button. Just subscribe and push this bell button, that my every video comes to you very fast, just in the just like the speed of light. You know what is the speed of light, don't you? This is your homework. So it's time to say Allah Hafiz and bye. Have a nice day. Allah Hafiz.